Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Nights at 9 with Coach Glenda. I'm Coach Glenda, and this is your Rise Again Woman. If this is your first time here, welcome. It is great to see you. In tonight's session of Sunday Nights at 9, I'm going to answer the question, how do I quiet my inner critic so I can show up with confidence and create healthier connection? Because many of us have had those moments in relationships, dating, or even after a breakup, where we suddenly feel self-conscious. We start thinking, I'm not enough, I'm behind, I'm not loved the way I should be. Maybe I'm the problem. That voice has a name. It's the inner critic. Tonight, we are going to reset that voice, reconnect to the truth, and rise with one simple action you can take into Monday morning. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you're the first to know when we post new content. Thank you. Before we begin, take a deep breath with me. In your nose and out your mouth. Now drop one word in the chat that describes what you want to feel in love. Is it safe, chosen, peace, desired, secure, seen? Just put in the chat your one word that describes what you want to feel when you are in love. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds for that.
I'm kind of glad tonight because tonight this is an awesome subject, and so I'm just happy to be a part of tonight's podcast. So excellent.
All right. So far in the chat, thank you, Mr. Carpenter. We have peace and seen. I know that we probably could have used some more words, but because I only asked for one, I do thank you so much for participating. But right now, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Carpenter so he can start us out in our topic of the inner critic.
Okay, guys, this is something really. This is something that we all have. This is something that we all experience. This is something that is kind of different for every one of us. Tonight, I think it's going to be a lot of chat going on tonight. Putting in the chat because it's not an easy thing to say because you know your fears. Because a lot of times when your inner conscience come to talk, it's a safety mechanism. Back in the day when we were cavemen, that inner conscience kept us from getting killed because it would tell us that, hey, look, there's a big tyrannosaurus or whatever over there. So instead of standing here acting like you're brave, you need to run. You need to run for cover. So it's the same thing when you deal with relationships. It's the same exact thing. A lot of times you're in a relationship and you don't feel like it's going the way it should, or you don't feel like you're being loved the way you need to be loved, or the connection's not there. Something inside of you break down, and it tells you that inner voice say, "Hey, look, something's wrong. Is it me? Is it I'm not pretty enough? Is it I'm not seen enough or whatever it is?" And if you let that voice continue to talk and control things and control the narrative that you seek, then you're gonna be a hurting sister or brother. So that's what the night is all about. Now we all have our own little different voice, that critic inside of us. I know for me, that little voice always asks me, am I doing enough? Am I being all I can be? Am I being conscious of the other person's thoughts and feelings? And it make me revisit my own thinking, and it makes me want to be a better person. At first, and I'm just talking for myself now because I'm going to start this out for everybody in a minute, but I just want to make sure everybody know the direction we're headed so everybody know how they fit in where they are. Now, tonight, we're asked that you use the chat. Once again, Sunday Night 9 is designed where you and 20 of your girlfriends are like in your living room. It's Sunday night after 9. The kids are in bed. Everything is relaxed. You might have a couple glasses of wine or whatever your drink of pleasure is, or whatever, however you relax yourself. You sit back and you and the girls are just talking. And you talk about relationship. And tonight, the topic is that inner critic, that voice that tells you whether you're good enough, bad enough, or whatever it is. So let's start it off. Glenda asked you to put in the chat one word how you feel. Now, I want you to put in the chat, have that, how do you deal with that inner conscience? Do you ignore it? Or do you voice your opinion? Or do you tell yourself, I'm okay? So let's take a moment to go in the chat. And then once we can put in the chat, then we'll open it up a little bit more. But right now, I want you to put in the chat, do you have a little voice that tells you about relationships now? Do you have a little voice inside that comes on and say, hey, look, something's going on? And while you putting it in there, let me share.
Before you share, Mr. Carpenter, what was the choices again? I know I heard ignore.
Well, let me make it really easy. Let me make it easier. Right now, if you had your inner conscious talk to you, and whether it talked to you or not, or to talk about the last time it talked to you, let's put a dial on it. Let's put it on like a dial. Okay. If it talks to you a lot, you're gonna roll that dial all the way up to 10. If you don't have subconscious and it don't talk to you much, then you'll put 1 or 0.
Okay, you want to do the numbers. Okay.
Let's do it that way. And because I want to make it easier going in, because tonight, if everybody get a chance to participate tonight. Oh, we're gonna do some healing tonight. So if you had to put a volume knob to control to let us know what your inner conscious is for you. And you can be truthful as you want to be, or you can just put something in there. For me, mine's about a 5. And it's between 1 to 10. Mine is about a 5. And I'm gonna tell you why mine's a 5. Mine's a 5 because I'm a little older than most. And at my age, going into a relationship and trying to be serious with someone, and I know all the things of life, all the life events. So a lot of times I ask myself, are you doing the right thing? Are you the right? Is this the right time? So my dial is about 5. It's there. I know my conscience is there. So Glenda, put Rufus 5 in there for me.
All right.
And I'm gonna do a lot of talking tonight because Glenda's gonna be on the chat a lot. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna do a lot of talking tonight. We're gonna have fun with this. Mine's a 5. Now, anyone want to share their thoughts about do you have a conscience? I mean, not so much conscience. I apologize. Not so much conscience. Critic. That critic inside your head. Is that critic inside your head make you second guess yourself? And this is crucial in a relationship, because in a relationship sometimes you're your own worst enemy. Yeah. The other person could be a great person, could be fine, and then you have your issues, or you have your concerns, or you have your critic that talks to you. I remember a long time. I think this was about a year ago. No, almost about a year and a half ago, we had a section about attachment styles. Mm-hmm. And we talked about the 4 attachment styles. And this is in that realm. This is a different way of saying that. And that attachment style, and by what number you put will kind of tell your attachment style a little bit. So mine's a 5. And mine's a 5 because I'm at an age now where a lot of people would say, Rufus, why are you doing what you're doing? Come on now, shoot, you done been through this and been through that. You're on the down, you're down, and I'm saying, fool, I'm trying to finish this race well. So that's how I solace my that I know I want to finish this race well, so I want my latter to be better than my former, however that saying is. Anybody want to come off mute and tell where their number is? I told mine's a 5, and mine's a 5 because of my age and some of the things I'm doing. Because for some reason my mindset is young. My mindset don't see them big double digits on my birth. So I'm a little confused. I think I'm a teenager at times. So that's why mine's a 5. Anyone want to share? Or anyone want to share before Glenda's kind of talk about what's in the chat? And once again, the night is your night more than our night. Because this is something reason why we brought this up tonight, and we're gonna do this a little different, because we started this year off talking about a strong, unstoppable 2026. And if you're going to have a strong, unstoppable 2026, sometimes it's what other people do to you. So the first 3 or 4, this is about the 6th week. This is about 6th week in the year. We're about the 6th week then, because we're in February, because January, so we're in February. This is about our 6th or 7th week in the year. The other 5 weeks, we talked about what other people do to you. That's what we kind of got, that we want to get the other people out the way. So we kind of got the other people out the way. You kind of got your defense for other people. You're not gonna let other people drive you crazy or steal your peace. Now it's time to talk about the enemy that you sleep with every night, the enemy that you see in the mirror every day. We want to talk about what's happening in our own house, in our own heart, in our own mind. That's what we're talking about right now. Because once we get ourselves out the way, we can love, man. We can just have some beautiful love and connection in life. So that's what the night is. So participate. The more you participate, the more you will get some of that stuff out the way. So tonight we're talking about the invisible enemy or invisible partner. And mine's a 5. Anybody want to share theirs before I have Glenda start reading the chat? Okay. We don't have Dr. Johnson in on tonight.
I don't see her.
Okay, because this time she would have been letting us know. Okay. All right, Glenda, you want to read some of what we got in chat and we can talk about that?
Okay, well, we got a few. We have, I think I see 3 10s.
Well, let me give me a note. Let me give a piece of paper so I can take notes.
Yeah, no, 4 10s. I have an 8. I have a 1. So on the highest, we have more 10s than anything.
Okay, then I think we are right where we need to be. Then we hit the nail on the head tonight with tonight's topic, because we're right where we are. Because when Glenda talked to me, she shared a lot of what she's trying to do at Sunday night at 9, and she wants to make this Sunday night at 9 a forum where you can relax and you can deal with some of the things and get results. Because, she don't have a couch you can sit on and talk 30, 40 minutes about your problems and how you was as a kid and who didn't love you and who did what to you. That's not what this is all about. This is a chance for you to actually take stock in your own self. This time you sit back and listen to other people say and see how your situation kind of mirrors theirs or different than theirs or like that. Not comparison. Now, we're not talking about comparisons. We're talking about how you realizing and take stock of yourself and realize how you can better yourself. And Glenda's philosophy is small steps. And that's what the Sunday Night at 9 is. Okay? All right, Glenda, you want to read some of them?
Well, they only put the numbers in there.
Some of the numbers. Let's talk about something. I tell you what, talk about some of the numbers and we'll talk about what that number means.
Okay, well, I have 4 10s in the chat.
Well, that's rough. Let's start with the lower numbers first.
Okay, we got the lowest number is a 1.
Okay, so what would a 1 signify? What would a 1 signify? I'll be the first. What a 1 signifies to me is go ahead. You will say something.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, what a 1 signifies to me is that you're kind of in control. Somebody already put it in there. You're in control. you've kind of, and not so much you're in control because you got it all together. You're in control because you realize early on you got a critic, and you've done the things and the work to get the critic silenced. Now, don't let nobody fool you. You put one up there, mean you ain't got no issues. Please don't let nobody fool you. Because you might have that thing in control at night, but come next week when you look at a movie and everybody hugged up and loved up, and you've been home alone for the last 6 weeks, and you know you want to be out there being loved. I'm just having fun because I know what the night is. So that's what one is. One is that you've recognized it. You've recognized it. You've given that small talk in your head a name you call the critic, and you've named it and you've learned to deal with it. And tonight we're going to come up with some things called the 4 C's, how we're going to deal with it. So that's what one signifies. Okay. What's the next number, Glenda?
5.
Well, if anybody want to comment on the numbers as we go through it, feel free to jump in there. All right, what's the next number, Glenda?
5.
Okay, 5. And 5 is me. I kind of explained 5. 5, you kind of wrestling with it. You haven't solved it, but it's not taking you out. You're not subconscious. When you talk to a new person or get a new relationship, you're not kind of worried, oh, am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be, am I okay? Or do I need to pull back, or am I moving too fast? You don't have, you're kind of okay with it. It's tolerable. Okay. Anybody got any comments about that? Everybody agree? All right. What's the next one?
7.
7. Okay. 7 is, hey, look, I haven't conquered that little small voice that tells me I got issues. I understand there's some concerns or maybe even fear. I may have concerns and fear, but fear haven't took me out. It haven't gotten where I second guess myself. It haven't gotten where when I text somebody, I'm thinking, did I text too much, or dang, should I even send the text? Or are they gonna think I'm lame, or are they gonna think I'm too easy, or think I'm too quick? And that's what 7 is. 7 is that you're aware and you got your fingers on the pulse. You've made some mistakes. Your conscience is beating you up a little bit, but you haven't been all the way down. You're not down in the dump. You're not spending all your time worrying in a relationship, at my spouse this or this or that. You're not doing that. But you have some concerns. Now, you have some valid concerns. That's what the 7 is. Anybody want to comment on that 7 before we move to the next number? Okay. What's the next number?
8.
8. Okay, 8 is a little bit more. 8 is you leaning more to the issues. 8 now you be getting 8 now that critic has become heavy mud on your feet and it's slowing your roll. You're slowing down a little bit. You're getting to the point where you become aware. Now you're beginning to second guess yourself and your thoughts. And you're spending more time alone wondering, am I enough? Am I going the right direction? What's going on here? And you begin to question some of the things you're doing and do. So that's what an 8 is. So 8 is where you really might need to talk about it. You might need to talk it out.
Now, Sharon put in the chat for number 8. Her version is your eyes are open.
Yeah, I think your eyes are open wide. Say wide open, Sharon. Say wide open, Sharon. Don't just say open, say wide open. Because your eyes are open. Go ahead, Sharon. I'm sorry, Sharon. Go ahead. What were you saying? Hold on, Sharon. Start over again. What were you saying?
They're wide open.
Yeah, oh, you're right. They're wide open. Because 7, your eyes are open at 7. Hell, at 5, my eyes are open, to be honest with you. But at 8, they wide open.
Wide open.
Any more comments about 8 before we go on to the next number? What's the next number, Glenda?
10.
What now?
10.
Oh, Jesus, we going to full blown. Okay, how many 10s we got?
4.
Okay, we got 4 10s, so that means we need to put the kickstand down for a little bit. And we need to anchor here for a bit. Anybody want to comment their thoughts about 10s before Glenda and I weigh in? Anybody got thoughts about what number 10 is? Sharon, you normally the brave, so
I was about to say that. What you got for me, Sharon?
Uh, Sin is just, sin is just, uh, uh, your thoughts are out of control. You're out of control.
yeah. Anybody agree with that or disagree? What we got? Agree or disagree? Okay. 10 is not, well, 10 is, you're right, kind of right, Sharon. 10 is you're out of control, but you're out of control, but you're in control, and you're in control with the wrong stuff. You're in control with your critic is in control. And that makes you slow down. That makes you take stock at what you're doing. You second guess yourself, and you're saying everything I do is questionable. Let's say somebody texts you, hey, look, babe, hey, would you want me to come over tonight, or what's up? And you're afraid to answer because you might think if you answer the wrong thing, you send the wrong message. So the answer might be no, not a good time because I'm going to put the baby in the bed, or I got to get to work early the next day. That might need to be the best answer, but you might answer, well, yeah, come on over. Where really coming over is not the real answer, but because you're afraid you're gonna miss something, you put coming over. And then after you put coming over, you second guess and think yourself, oh Lord, I shouldn't have did that. Why did I do it? He gonna think I'm ready, or he gonna think I'm fast, or he gonna think he gonna get something. All kind of answers come to your head after that. And that's where that 10 just go wild. That's where that 10 becomes really, really wild. And that's what it is. You were gonna say something, Glenda?
No, not at this moment.
Okay. Anyone else got any shares for 10? What they think 10 is? And I think Sharon said something. I think Sharon said something. I forgot. I tried to read it, but I missed it.
She didn't put anything. Oh, she said bingo.
Oh, okay. I saw it. Okay, Andre got something. What is it?
Well, Andre had something a little earlier. He said, I forget, I think it was on maybe 7 or 8, but he says, I will say based on church service the past few weeks, men have been carrying a lot of things from past trauma and they have been setting themselves free. I say that because maybe men might be the key to bringing about some healthier relationships.
Ooh, that's a lot there. That's a lot there. That's a lot there. Let's come back to that. Let's
Okay.
come back to that. Let's because that's gonna splinter us off a little bit. So let's come back to that. But Andre got something else in there before that. I saw something else up there before that. Something about a you or
Before or
something.
after?
I think it was after that. Something I saw the word control. I saw the word you don't care or something. Read this comment. Or
Oh,
Andre,
it said you have
did a
no
comment.
clue what is going on in the world. I
You
think
had
that was
asked
for
for
number
was it
10, if I'm not
All right,
correct?
mistaken.
let
Correct.
Andre speak, Glenda. He's trying to say something. Go ahead,
Yeah, I
Andre.
was saying when you asked me about when you were asking about the number 10, I was saying that's what I was thinking. And then Sharon came in and kind of validated what I was saying.
What was that now? What did Sharon validate?
That your thoughts are kind of just out of control. But then I was just saying that you just really just don't really have a clue what's going on and that you no longer care, I guess.
Okay, and that's good and bad, because when you don't no longer care, is it that you no longer care in the fact that you give up, or you no longer care that you now that you done got yourself strength, you strengthen yourself, and you realize that your conscience is always going to be there, but you're going to press on anyway. So which one of those you don't care anymore? Where you
I
leave?
was thinking more of you could care less about the past. Like you leave Ray Ray and Shaquita where they are and you move on with your life. Like I had to tell a friend today, like she was saying that she needed to get closure and something. And I was explaining to her, I said, you're an adult. You don't have to go and ask for permission to leave. I said, you can get your person leave. You don't owe him any explanation. I was trying to explain to her that sometimes we have to be adult enough to know that everything does not require an explanation.
Yep, and we covered that a while back. Your no's can be a complete sentence. You don't need to add more to no. Yep, so we did that already. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, now Now let's go back to that part where Andre was saying that could read it again, Glenda, about the church thing.
Okay, his comment about the church, I would say based on our church service in the past few weeks, men have been carrying a lot of things from past traumas, and they have been setting themselves free. I say that because maybe men might be the key to bringing about some healthier relationships.
That's awesome. That's awesome because you're right. Because when a man set himself free, especially a lot of times, and especially men take the lead in a lot of relationships, especially going in, men take the lead. And you're right. If the man has his house in order and get it right and can get some of that baggage and trauma of the past out, then it makes a major difference. Because when you deal with it and get it out and name it and get it out, then it's easier to deal with. So that's great, Andre. So that's in church. So church is moving in the right direction with the trauma, because all of us are somewhat damaged in the trauma. Trauma affects us all.
Right.
It's how you deal with it and how you press on. So a lot of times stuff can go through you. A lot of times stuff stick to you, and a lot of times you get what they used to call shell shocked, when you just don't know what to do. So so Andre's saying that a lot of men have kind of pushed that trauma behind and that baggage behind. They've pressed forward and they're moving forward, which is a healthy state, which is excellent. Excellent. Because when we talk about our self-conscious in a relationship, we're talking about how secure we feel right then in that relationship, how we feel right then. So when I see the tens, it's telling me, how do you feel right now in your relationships right now, in your relationship life right now? How do you feel there? Do you feel secure? Is safety there? Or do you feel kind of like your mind is in control, and you got abandonment and rejection issues and stuff like that. So those are the type of things you think about and talk about. Because a lot of times when you see patterns in your self-talk, some of those patterns make you wonder, are you is that self-talk where you kind of the passion of you like lying to yourself a little bit? You feel like you're lying to yourself sometimes? Do it make you want to shrink, or do it make you want to perform for love? You feel you got to get out and perform to chase connection. These are the type of things that when you start putting tens down, these are the things you begin to wonder, because your mind uses it, criticism, control, and fear or abandonment to kind of get you to pull back or get you to be cautious or get you to stay in a safe lane. And some people find their peace that way. I just see something went through chat.
All
Life
right.
about change. Read that one for
Okay.
Gigi.
1 second. Life is about change. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's beautiful. A lot of time, a yeah, a lot of time it's both. Might just be missing a word or something, but I mean, life is about change. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's beautiful. A lot of time it's both.
Okay, that's awesome, and that is great, and that's why your conscience is very, very important. Because sometimes your conscience is it passionate inner talk that lying to yourself, or is it that you're fighting back, you're fighting the silence, you're fighting it to be silenced, you're fighting it. You know, the best thing to do is replace it with truth, and like Gigi just said, replace it with truth. Life is about change. You're gonna change. Sometimes it's gonna be good. Sometimes it's not gonna always be as good as you would like to be. But it's change is there. So that is awesome, Gigi. Thank you for sharing that comment with us,
Now,
because that's very important.
Mr.
Go
Carpenter,
ahead.
let me ask you a question real quick. So for number 10, what is like a short version of what you're saying number two is? I mean, number 10 is.
Number 10 is you're kind of fighting to silence that critic, that talk. It's a lot of self-talk, and you don't know whether you're lying to yourself or whether it's true. that self-talk you have, and it's passionate self-talk. It ain't self-talk where maybe, maybe this is happening. It's very passionate where it gets you to believe. It gets you to actually believe there's issues. And we don't silence our critic by trying to fight it. That's not how you solve it. You got to replace it. You got to name what's going on and replace it with the truth. And that's what a 10 is. 10 is you're fighting it, and your conscience is very passionate. It tells you some stuff that make you want to cry. It tells you some stuff that make you hurt. And that's what a 10 is. And a 10, if you let it, a 10 will have you sitting home on your porch crying. If you let it.
You lie to yourself?
Yes. Some people lie to themselves. Some people, and even if it's good, some people will say, well, it can be good. Some people even will lie to themselves to the point where they either say it's good is bad or bad is good. They make it fit. But it's always best to replace that silence by replacing it with truth. And truth, once you understand the truth, the next step is put action there. Let's say in my conscience is telling me, Rufus, you're not good enough. You're not, you're getting a little fat. Your shape, you don't have that male physique where you're strong and all that anymore. So, that's why, you can't compete with the guys out there for the best ladies or the prettiest ladies or whatever. Because you have these issues in my mind, my brain, my critic is saying, Rufus, you shouldn't be out there. Look at you, man. You don't even wear good clothes. You know that song? It just came to my mind. That song Patches about it was an old song with the lady talking about, look at yourself, you wear overalls or something. It's an old song. I think it's a Wilson Pickett song. It's kind of that way that you tell yourself you have all kind of issues. And when you tell yourself you have all the kind of issues because your critic is so passionate, that conscience is so passionate that you believe it. So you begin to shrink. Instead of you going out there and being yourself in the public and trying to challenge things, you shrink. Or some of us feel we got to be performers. We got to do more. We got to buy different things, and we got to jump through hoops to be loved and to get that connection we're looking for. And the truth, and go ahead. Someone say something?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say something. I was being quiet.
Mm-hmm.
We missed the importance word. There's one important word that relates to all your trauma, your lack of maturity, or whatever you're going through. The word is acceptance. Because no matter what you go through, you got to, first of all, know what it is that you're going through, and you got to learn to accept it before you can start dealing with it. Once you accept it and say, okay, this is my problem, you accept that is your problem, because now you acknowledge it's the problem. Once you accept it, pray about it, and then you can start building it, redoing it, renewing it. You can start focusing on it to make it better. But until you actually accept it, you're never going to move forward on it. There's no way you can, because you're always going to have that thought, that conscience, and you're going to be fighting it. Once you accept it, then you start to build a new you, because now that you accept it, you pray about it. Now you can fight it. You can build towards it. Mm-hmm. It's just like any situation you have, whether you're building a house, building a garden, or whatever it is. The biggest problem we have is starting it. If you never accept it, you can never start it as far as rebuilding. Okay? And just remember, it, like y'all was talking about trauma earlier. Mm-hmm. It's not what you go through. It's what you learn when you come through it. And a lot of people say it's in one ear and out the other one. Something always sticks. So you got to learn something and be willing to be focused on bettering yourself. Like I've always said, once you learn to love yourself, you know what you can take, what you can't take. You notice red flags. And if it ain't in your future, then you know not to proceed with it because you know it's not going to lead you nowhere. We want to be at the end of the day at peace.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get off bases.
No, go ahead.
It's
Go ahead. You
just,
good?
like I said, you just got to learn. Like in my situation, back in the 90s, I've been dealing with my hip situation, been disabled and whatever. And 90, that was in 81. 10, 11 years later, I learned, okay, I'm gonna be disabled. I got to accept that. And once I accepted that, shit, I've been fighting for all them 10, 11 years to have a surgery. When I accepted it, bam, prayed about it, bam. Guess what? Within that same year, I had a surgery. Once I accepted it, shit, they had to go back and back pay me money. We talking like 100 grand, and I'm still damn near in my early 20s, just coming out of being a teenager. That kind of money. You understand what I'm saying? Once you start accepting it, especially through prayer, your doors opens up where you see things happening in your life you was like never thought could happen. So, like I said, and I don't mean to take over or say nothing or
No,
get
you
off
good. You good.
bases.
You good. Because
Just
you're doing there.
learn, no matter what your situation is, good or bad, just remember those two things. The first thing you got to do before you can move on is accept whatever the situation is. The second thing is, as you go through it, it's not what you go through, it's what you learn when you come through it, because you will come through it. That's all I want to get y'all to understand.
Thank you for that. And I'm glad you brought that up because as we go on, we're going to give you some simple tools. We got a simple tool that we're going to talk a little bit about, and we'll touch on what he said in that when we talk that simple tool. But before we
Ain't
go,
nothing simple from you, Troopers.
what now?
Ain't nothing simple from you.
But I'm gonna try to make it simple. This is from Glenda.
Okay.
This ain't from me, so it's gonna be simple.
Okay.
Rufus, I think Sharon had something to say.
What did she say? I'm sorry.
Well, no, she raised her hand. So Sharon,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did have something to say. When Mr. Kingdom was saying, you got to come to terms with it and accept it, but that could go both ways. Not just your situation as far as like dealing with another person or the other person's issue. You got to accept your issues too. You got to realize your part in it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's always to look at someone else's fault, but you don't look at your own. See?
I did not specify one
No,
way or the other. Wait. No.
Wait,
Let me
wait,
say
Mr.
this.
Kingdom, Mr. Kingdom, hold up, Mr. Kingdom. Let her finish first. Then when she finishes, if you want to comment
I'm
on what
sorry.
she
I
said,
thought she did.
no,
I
she's not
thought she
finished. Go
did.
ahead. Let her
Okay.
finish,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Kingdom.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
wasn't saying
Go
that you
ahead.
were wrong. I was
Go ahead.
saying you're right because I was just saying the same thing. You got to accept it. But a lot of people don't seem to be able to accept their issues. You know what I'm saying? They don't seem to accept what part that they play in it as far as like the relationship thing. I made a comment in the chat. Let me see. I forgot how I said it. Let me look in the chat real quick. I made a comment and I said,
She said some
hold
people
on.
don't realize if it never developed in.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Some people don't realize they may think that the way they do things or the way they handle things or the way they pass relationships work, that that's not just how it is. But if that never worked for you and your relationships never worked out, then it's a problem.
You right.
Okay.
Now,
Okay, you finished sharing? You finished
Oh
sharing?
yeah, I'm done.
Go ahead, Mr. Kingdom. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Kingdom.
okay. The reason I didn't specify one way or the other because I used the word acceptance. I say we got to learn how to accept the situation, regardless of what it is. And when I said that, that's in reference to the individual and whoever is whatever the problem is, whether you're the problem, they're the problem, it's a problem, whether it's a bill, whatever it might be, we still got to learn to accept it. If it's self-fault, then we got to learn to accept, oh shit, I messed up. Maybe it was me. So then you got to take the initiative and say, hey, I accept it. It was my fault. Then once I do that, I can be like, okay, well, let me try something different. Until you accept it, regardless whether it's yourself or someone else, you're not going to be able to move on. So accept it as an individual, move on, and you'll see that you'll start bettering yourself. Things will start falling in place where it's like leaving a trail. You go somewhere and you leave a trail where you can get back out of it. When you start accepting it, now you can start leaving them cookie crumbs and you can find your way out, or you can start turning on a light bulb as you get further into that cave. You understand? Things start brightening up for you,
You know,
and you'll see it.
I think Sharon and Ms. Kingdom, you guys did some awesome comments there, and that's why I was trying to get us to open up and talk about some of this stuff. And I'm glad you guys, everybody participated. Gigi, all y'all participated. I'm glad with that. But right now, I want to open the chat up. I want to ask some questions and put your answers in chat, or if you want to unmute and come on and say your answers, go ahead. But the first question I'm going to ask you, coming out the gate, is when you feel self-conscious in a relationship, what do you normally do? When you feel yourself self-conscious in a relationship, what do you do? And put it in the chat, please. Put it in the chat. And if you're asking Rufus, what are you talking about? Here's some of the things that I've noticed people do. When they feel self-conscious in a relationship, what do they normally do? They begin to chase after the other person or chase after affection. Some people shut down and say, I don't give a F. That must be Sharon. Some people overthink. Like me, overthink. Well, what did I do? How to, what you come up with, logic, overthink. And then some people turn to people pleasers. Baby, anything I can do for you, please just let me know what you need. Some people throwing money at it or throwing more time at it. So the question is, please put in the chat, when you feel self-conscious in relationships, what do you normally do? Some people chase, some people shut down, saying I don't give a F. Some people overthinking and wondering what it is, like the schemes that I do. Some people become people pleasers.
Well, I don't put it in the chat because my situation, but I would tell you.
Go ahead and say it. You go ahead.
I evaluate the situation and I observe the situation. And a lot of times it's on me. So what I do then, if it's another person, say if it's you and I, you understand, Rufus? Then what I'm gonna do is evaluate the situation, think about it, and pray about it. Then what if it seems that it's on me, which sometimes it is, then I come and approach you. Hey, look, Rufus, man, it's been eating on my heart, and I feel that I did something wrong. I feel unconsciously or self-consciously, I might have said something to the situation. You understand? And I come and it's all about communication. And it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. If I come to you man to man, or come to Gigi, woman to man, or whatever, and we discuss it, put it out there, because a lot of times we do stuff self-consciously, unintentionally.
Okay.
And we say things unintentionally that'll push a person away without knowing what we did. But if I come back and communicate with you about it, guess what? It'd be something so simple. We can resolve it right then and there and move on. Okay. That's what I mean. We got to accept the situation.
Okay. Anybody else want to come off chat and say theirs, or before Glenda start reading? Anybody else want to come off chat? I mean, come off mute and say theirs before Glenda start reading? Okay, Glenda, you gonna start reading?
Let's see. I have two individuals that say talk about it. I know for myself, I said I used to overgive, but in 2026, but not in 2026. I said I've been delivered, so I don't try to be a people pleaser anymore. Let's see. So Sharon says she want to know everything.
No, but Glenda, don't say their name. Just say what the comment was. Don't say the person's name. Yeah, but we're good.
Okay, no problem. Okay, and let's see.
Just a comment.
That's it. That was it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that comment. All right. Here's the next question. What's the sentence your inner critic repeats most? What is the sentence your inner critic repeats most? In other words, what's the normal thing that goes through your head all the time? What's the norm? What's the sentence? And put just going in chat. Yeah, put it in chat. What's the sentence your inner critic repeats most? Is it I'm not good enough, or is it right place, wrong time, or what? Or what it
With
is?
me, it's always the first thing pop in my mind. Why me?
That's a good one. That's a lot
And the
of us have that.
reason, let me explain that.
Mhm.
A lot of times I say, why me? Because it's not something I'm doing always. It's I'm getting the grunt of the other people's bull.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting the grunt of other people's situation. Like, for example, back in the days, growing up, they say a lot of people get on you, pick at you, and tease you because they love you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they used to say a lot. But when a person go through something,
Mm-hmm.
because you're the close one to them, you get the grunt of it, whether it's good or bad.
Right.
So I'm always, shit, why me? Why you gotta come to me with it? Why I got to deal with it?
Right.
But then after being who I am through this accident, I don't ask myself that as much anymore. Because guess what? God's not gonna put no more on you than you can bear. And the reason people come to you is because, like God, they know you can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my situation, you know why they come to me? Because damn, it's almost like I got the damn answer.
That's awesome.
But I never realized that until this situation with the train accident. Like even on the line, a lot of times, I'm not perfect, but a lot of my knowledge that I speak with you all with is hidden in the right spot. I might can't explain it right, but it's good advice. You understand?
Yep.
So that's why I don't ask myself as much anymore. But that was my favorite sentence or words. Why me?
Right.
Okay. Any more in the chat? Any more in the chat other than that?
I have, what am I doing wrong? Don't go for that bull tea. Um,
That's
really,
a
is
good one.
this what we doing now?
Those are some good ones. Those are really good. And mine, I forgot to tell Glenn to put it in chat. Mine is I'm not enough. And and
Rufus,
and yes, go ahead. Who's that?
yours should have been make it make sense.
No,
Pat,
that's yours. That ain't mine. Keep it moving.
No, that's yours.
That's yours. I don't speak for you, and you don't speak for me. And the reason why I had you guys put it in the chat, because what repeats in your mind and stuff, it doesn't just hurt your confidence. It shapes how you show up, what you tolerate, and what you deserve, what you believe you deserve. And that's important, because if it goes through your brain over and over again, you begin to believe, because your brain begins to believe what it's saying. And it don't just hurt your confidence. Realize it shapes how you show up in your relationships, what you tolerate, and what you believe you believe you deserve. Because some of us believe we don't deserve much. Some of us feel you throw me a crumb, I'm fine. Or some of us believe you got to give me a ship, boat, yacht, the bank account, you got to give me everything. And once again, it's what's going on in your brain, what self-talk is. All right, third one. All right, ready for the next one?
yes.
Where do you think that original message that you have in your head, where do you think it comes from? Where do you think that original message that we just talked about, where does it come from? Like mine was, I don't think I'm enough. And I tell you where mine come from. Mine come from my childhood, where I saw my dad and mom fight all the time. And then I was awkward. I was kind of awkward when I was a kid, when I was a teenager coming up, because I couldn't dance. So a lot of times when they have dances, everybody dancing, everybody booed up. I'm up on the wall mad. And I'm looking at everybody dancing, having fun. So I get pissed and start a fight. So they got to close the thing down. So everybody got to go home. That's where mine came from. So that's where mine came from. That's why. So, and I hate that. And you can tell I still feel it. So that's where mine came from. So put in the chat, or you can come off and talk about it. You don't have to put it in chat. You can come if you want to come off mute and talk about it. Where do you think that message originated from? Where did the message that keeps going in your head over and over, where did it come from? Where did it originate from? And I told you where mine originated from.
Well, mine originated from my childhood experiences, such as yours. Mine was, I was disabled at the age of 14. So my question always comes, why me? Why this happened to me? And being disabled at such a young age, the way I limped and walked, everybody teased me. So I was the main focus of everybody's jokes and stuff. You understand?
Right. I
So
very
that's
much.
where
I very,
mine,
very well.
that's where all mine come from until I had to learn how to refocus everything. Because see, being picked on as a kid by the way you walk and what you can and can't do no more, and stuff like that. So I had to learn to refocus, which what I mean by refocus, I had to take the joke away from them. And then how I did that was they can only joke about me and the way I walk and stuff. So the first thing I do is start talking about my own walk. I start talking about the way I limp and what I can't do. And that way the laugh reverse off of them, off of me to them. Because like the 8th Mile, when he was doing that little battle, tell them something else that they don't know about me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what? And I wasn't gonna get too deep in mine, but since he got deep, I go deeper in mine. To mine was I always said I wasn't good enough because, like I said, I saw my mom and dad and stuff like that, and I was kind of awkward as a teenager. I wasn't the kind of guy that would do a lot of dating and stuff like that. And I couldn't dance. And like I said, when I go to the dance, I would still go to the dance, and I'd be on the wall. Even the girl that I'm with, she had to dance with somebody else, and I'd be on the wall mad, and then I'd start a fight so they can close it down. But that was something really, really rough for a while. So like Mr. Kingdom found a workaround, a way to do that. I found a workaround. I became a DJ and brought all this big expensive sound equipment, and I was a DJ. And the reason why I did that, because then I could go to the same club with everybody else and I'd be the DJ, so I wouldn't have to dance. So that's how I got around it. So, we figure these things out, but we all have a backstory. And that's one reason why I asked that question. We all have a backstory. As some of us are brave enough to share, and we don't have to share, but that's very, very important. Glenda, we're running out of time, so this might have to be a part two if everybody wants to, because we still have a lot to unpack here. Because this is some critical stuff, and all we did right now was just establish the framework. We haven't even gotten into the heavy lifting of this yet. All we did was gotten everybody to talk and got everybody to feel what we're talking about. So there's still a lot left here. And matter of fact, there's something called the 4 C's that we're not going to get to it tonight, but there's something called the 4 C's that we got to discuss. So Glenda, what are we doing here? Because there's a lot still unpacked. So what's your thoughts?
That's fine. I don't have a problem with doing a part two.
Okay, then anybody, because we've got a couple more questions. And let's finish this question up right here, because I think Andre had a lot of good stuff in the chat. And Andre, you want to share some of that stuff? Because one of those quotes you had, one of those things you had, Andre, I think is beneficial to everybody.
I was saying, like when I was thinking about focus groups, if if there were more focus groups like what the gentleman just said, I think we could probably help restore our communities, because I think a lot of young Black males specifically, they don't know how to vocalize what's in their head.
Mm-hmm.
I just think if there were more focus groups around helping them at young ages to at least vocalize things, then I think there would be probably lower, incarceration rates and just a better community for us as a people.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with him. But basically what it is, when you start having group sessions like that, it's not per se to channel what they have in their head. What it's there for is to show them, okay, you're not the only one that's going through this. Your situation that you're going through is minute to somebody else's situation. So it goes to show you that, hey, mine ain't that bad. It's pointing out, getting people to start lifting up and speaking on their situation. to let everybody else know, hey, yours ain't that bad, bro. Let's switch. Let's trade. And then when people in that group start seeing other people's issues, then they can start opening up and say, man, I thought my situation was bad. And see, that hits me personal and touching because when I prayed to God, He told me to just tell my story, to share my story. And when I realized what my story was and understand the significance behind it, I'm letting people know, man, what you're going through ain't nothing compared to what I just went through. And then getting results from that and response from that, people are opening up to me and saying, man, I need to hear that. And then they start opening up. So it's just a matter of somebody with situations open up and explain to let everybody else know that there's not that bad. They'll start opening up.
You know, I'm glad you guys opened up tonight and did talk, because what we went through right now, we put the kickstand down on the beginning of this so we could establish the foundation. Because what we're talking about tonight is very, very important, because you are what you think. What's going on in your head is who you are. It's how you show up, how you perceive the world and yourself, and especially in relationships. You don't want to self-sabotage. And that's why tonight is so very important. And we right now, I think we kind of gotten a foundation established. So next week, we need to go ahead and really work through this thing. So I want everybody, going through this week, think about it. Think about some of the stuff we already discussed. And if if Glenda already sent you your the home study guide or whatever it is we have, that handout, get ready, because next week is going to be fire. Go ahead, Glenda. You got it.
As we close tonight, I want you to remember
Wait, Sharon
this.
going to say something. Go ahead, Sharon.
Okay, Sharon, you got something to say?
Yeah, trying to move. I said, remember you just said you can't dance.
Could have kept that one, Sharon. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness, y'all are too funny. Okay, as we close tonight, I want you to remember this. The inner critic is loudest when your nervous system is craving safety. Not because you're broken, you are not behind, you are not too much, you are not unlovable. This week, practice catching the critic, changing the sentence, and choosing one brave action that honors your energy. Your healing is not just for you, it's for the generations connected to you. If you're ready for a deeper support, you can work with me to quiet the inner critic and rebuild confidence and love, or book a private session with me to rewrite inner dialogues that fuels insecurity. Until next Sunday night at 9 p.m., keep resetting, keep reconnecting, and keep rising. I love you and I'm rooting for you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Hey, see you next week. This is interesting. I'll call you, boy. I got to see your message. And Sharon, you crazy.